Welcome back to the channel. Now, if you know anything about me, I'm a carpenter and a joiner, but I spend all my time out on site, generally building something like this garden room that I built at home. So you also asked me, do I have access to a workshop? Do I have a workshop? And if you've watched stuff back through my channel, you'll know that when I built this before I did my house. We had to build this bit first because otherwise we wouldn't have had access to it for like piling machines and that sort of stuff. But I also then went on to use it for about 2 years as my workshop, and I made pretty much everything in there, from my front doors to cabinetry to everything that's inside here, all kinds of joinery and carpentry. I use this as my workshop. So I do have access to a workshop, and it's about time I took you to that workshop because it's pretty cool. And there's a fella there called Adrian who's very closely linked to my business now, because we developed a hinge jig before lockdown. We used it on the channel. It was basically just for our own use. And then people saw it and they liked it and it was simple. So we decided to make a few, sell a few, and that's where we are today. Let's get down the workshop, meet Adrian, see some of the kit that we use, make some jigs. A nice day for me away from the site. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what's coming up in this video. One thing we will be talking about quite a lot is the business side of how we go about selling and making our hinge jigs, and how we're using software, one in particular called Xero, to actually make our business much easier to run. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That's it, I'm here. I've arrived at Adrian's workshop. Let's get inside so you can meet him. Well, he'll be in here somewhere. So I'm in the workshop, and there he is. Hey, mate.
All right, Robin, how's it going? You all right?
All right, mate. Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well, thanking you.
No one's ever seen the workshop or where we make the hinge jigs. So anyway, come over here. Adrian and I have known each other some time, and it all started pretty typical, really. Adrian called me and said, I'm building a garage. Can you do my roof?
Yeah.
So I said, well, why not? That's what I do. So I went down, we met, I built your roof. And so that's how our relationship started. And basically, one day I came in and you'd made yourself a hinge jig. And I remember saying to Adrian, that's amazing, let's refine it. So we kind of refined it. And that's
down here somewhere.
Is this the original?
This is the, that's
so
it.
That
it still lives under the bench with cobwebs.
That was the original one. So obviously slightly bigger, still very similar to the one that we produce and put on the website. So
just a little bit less bulky for your toolbox, that's all, isn't it, really?
Exactly,
you know, so.
Yeah, uses a little bit less material, a bit more sustainable, which is always the buzzword these days. So yeah, Adrian is called Buzz Production, and basically you make everything, don't you?
We'll have a go at anything, really, you know, but the sky's the limit.
So today's a typical day for us when we get together. We chat, we put hinge jigs together, and I always enjoy that. It's really quite mindful, you know. We need to do a very quick run through of how exactly they're made.
From start to finish with a hinge jig, we will start with the sheet material off the rack. We use a med-out board, a 12mm MDF. We'll take it over to the CNC. We've obviously done some development and done the work and pre-programmed the bits and pieces for the jig. So we'll take it to the CNC, we'll set that up, take the files across with a 3-inch and a 4-inch jig. Cut them on the CNC. We'll end up with pieces and shapes like this. We've got 2 sections for each, both out of 12mm, both cut from the same sheet. After we've cut them on the CNC, we'll then take them upstairs, we'll clean them off. Do you want to go up and have a look?
Let's go and have a look at that.
We'll take them upstairs to the laser. Follow me. This was the door where it started. These were the hinges that were cut in on the door.
like it, look, this is it.
Don't judge me on the hinges on that door though. From getting the raw pieces from downstairs, from the sheet, we'll bring them upstairs, we'll bring them to the laser. We've got a template that we set up on the laser, and we've set a file up. We do the final engraving for the little RC logo, and then from here we'll take them back downstairs, take them to the bench, and myself and Robin chew the fat for the day, or for a couple of hours putting them together.
Adrian is very particular. Now I'm particular, but he is very particular, to the point where when we put the screws in, even though they're like a posi screw, all of those need to be exactly in line as well, which I think is a really good standard. That's one thing why I gel with Adrian, is because his standard is, mine's sort of like up there and his exceeds that. We start here, I lay mine out on this side, I have to put a countersink in both of the holes. Then I turn them upside down and we put a particular glue in. We use the Type 1-3 And then we fix in the fence part here. So this goes into this bit. It's all jointed in. You can see that we've ploughed a really nice, or CNC'd a really nice groove through there. And then basically we assemble them. And then from there, we dispatch them, we package them. We've got boxes for them now, which all looks pretty nice, with a router cutter that we've had made. But all of this has led to us having to have systems in place and processes, because it's all right selling a few bits and pieces, but when you're going to want to sell nationwide, ship them out pretty quickly, you need a great website, you need a really good integrated mailing system as well. But the thing that scared me most about this whole process was the whole business side of things. Okay, you've got your website, you've got your postage, you've got all of the tracking and all of that sort of stuff, but also the financial part of it. And so Adrian has always used Xero software, and he said to me, we need to use this in the business. And I was thinking, what difference will it make? You know, leave that to the accountants and all the rest of it. But he insisted, and we stuck it on the system. And I think for me, if it wasn't for that, I would not have enjoyed this whole process, because I know for a fact that all of the money side, the VAT, all of the accountancy, it's all linked to our accountant. It goes off to him. He works it all out. It comes back, it does the VAT, it does absolutely everything, okay? So I think it's super important, not just technology that we use, tools, CNCs, lasers, all the kit that we use out on site, but software. If it wasn't for the software, we wouldn't be able to run this business like we run it just between the two of us. So anyway, we're going to get on and put some jigs together. I wonder how many thousands of these we put together.
I'd have to have a look on the computer.
Yeah.
The supercomputer.
Well, that's the other thing about software, isn't it? All of that information is to hand, isn't it?
Well, it is now, yes. It pays dividends, because if you set it up properly from the start,
Yeah.
you know, it works for you later on, you know, but when you try and kind of catch up with it
Yeah.
and think, right, well, we need to kind of,
Yeah.
you know, quantify all this now, and, you know, so that's what, you know, that's why we use the software that we have done. And
even in my day-to-day work, you know, the benefit of having like Xero and that sort of stuff, just being able to do all of the record keeping, which is basically what it's all about. I mean, even the government are insisting on making tax digital. It's something which you can't avoid. Even if you're a small trader, you're going to have to, you know, make sure you submit everything electronically, keep all your records electronically, securely. And it's easier now, what with the cloud and everything else, once you're set up. And the other thing as well, you think about it, right? If you take on like the financial side of it, it's that reporting is so key. I mean, I went in my store the other day and I was just sifting through files, lever arch files of records, and there was, I mean, like that high of records, and it's keep them for 7 years, obviously, and then you've got to dispose of them and shred them and everything else. And it's kind of like, it's not just that; it's the amount of work it takes to get that paper receipt. Because nowadays you can photograph it, snap it, and it's straight up, which is great.
And the software recognises it as well, which is really good, you know. So then you, I mean, obviously you go in and say, yeah, that's great, approve. But, you know, you've got HubDoc, which is part and parcel of Xero. And you can just snap your receipts and put them straight up there, allocate them to whatever they are, an expense or a purchase or you know, a receipt or whatever, and away you go. But
it's just taking out.
I think a lot of people are going to be, you know, because they're making it mandatory, a lot of people are going to be a bit like, oh, you know, when there's change, nobody likes change, I don't like change. You know, we've kept paperwork for years and years here, you know, and with the amount of purchases that we do, we had reams and reams and stacks of it. We've had a massive clear out of late. But we don't have to keep it now because it's all kept on the cloud technically. So, you know, it's a big clear out. And it's, the nice thing is as well, you know, if you do need to go back and find who was that supplier for that, you can actually just jump onto the computer, type in a keyword and it's there instead of having to go through box after box.
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
when you think about
eternally impressed.
Small item purchases, you know, a bit like the jig. You know, to kind of keep on top of that and have to put it all in manually would be, our driver's mad.
It'd be amazing. I mean, you know, if you think these jigs sell for under £30. And so there's so many transactions.
It would be a lot more work doing it without it.
It would be another couple of salaries probably.
It cost us a little bit more with the accountant initially to set it up because, you know, we were kind of stepping into something that we didn't kind of realise or know too much about. But now it's set up, it's cracking.
No, it is good.
It's how it all integrates together really, which is a good thing. So when we set the shop up, you know, we obviously got Xero, because I mean we've used it before. We're a bit, you know, we understand it. But I mean the two just go right. I'm using Xero. There's the plugin. I want that to talk to that. These are the tax inputs, and it just goes okay. And I'll pull all those transactions across, and then you go to your bank and you go, okay, bank, I'm using Xero. Okay, you put that plug in.
Yeah.
So then the bank goes, okay, hello Xero, and then drags all the information out of Xero to the bank, or the bank to Xero. You know, you can just hit a reconcile button. It sounds simple, but there's a few things you got to do. But and it just goes, okay, yeah, those are your sales, those are your costs, and you know, it logs it all together. But again, you know, when you're doing your VAT quarter and stuff, it works all that out as well.
The thing for me, Adrian, is like I came into my craft as a craftsperson, so everything's manual, everything's done by hand, you know. And now, when I think about how much technology is around me, it's not just things like Xero, but all of the information that we get from clients, architects, engineers. It's all electronic. We don't see a bit of paper unless we've printed it ourselves, you know. So it's like whether you like it or not, technology is here to stay, and it's only going to get more smart and quicker and better. And so I just think that it's just a matter of adopting it, you know.
You have to, and you have to move with the times, I suppose, you know. And a bit like, you know, if we had to cut all these by hand.
Oh yeah, it'd be impossible. First of all, it's impossible to do this to this level of accuracy. You know, I make jigs. I've been making jigs for my work for years, especially before I realised CNC was so good. And I mean, I know CNC, you need to have one. You need to be able to program it. You need to be able to design and make it actually work. So it's something that's above my pay grade, and I don't particularly want to learn it either. So
but then, you know, everybody's got their own little kind of areas, I suppose, and you know, that's why it works quite well with us. I mean, you know,
exactly,
you know me, I don't like being in front of the camera. And
well, you are now.
I know.
But you're looking the other way, so there's the camera. No. You shouldn't be shy, it's not so bad.
You know, and I just like just making stuff and getting on with stuff, and I like doing the design and all those bits and pieces. That's why it works for you.
Exactly.
Because, you know, you're great in front of the camera.
There's a lot of ingredients in a business that need to... I mean, I certainly couldn't do this on my own. There's no
I think
doubt
when you're in business, you've got to find things that complement, you know, when you work with people as well, you know, and you've got to pull on the strengths.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, it works quite well with us because, you know, yes, I can do the design. I'm more kind of computer side of things and you know, the machine and carpentry, you know, and I like that side of things, you know. But again, and for you, you know, you're brilliant on the other side of things about promoting it and doing your reels, and you've got a, you know, fantastic following and a very good strong following of, you know, for which I really appreciate, especially the people who have supported us by buying the jigs, because as I said at the beginning of this video, YouTube's good, and my ultimate goal is to share my knowledge, and it takes a lot of time, and I've still got to pay my mortgage. I've always been self-employed. I've still got to pay my bills, and so by having a little sort of like sideline like this, which we can get, you know, to market via YouTube, it means that the little bit of profit that we can make actually goes towards keeping my interest in doing the channel, because believe it or not, YouTube's great, but it's hard work. Well, we better get on and blast through this lot now, mate, and then we'll box them up, we'll take them ready for dispatching. And we're going to have a Poets' Day. Yeah, it's Friday actually, so it's Friday today, and we'll be able to finish early, go for a nice glass of beer somewhere. Well, that'd be a fine thing. Yeah. All right, let's crack on. Come on then. So what we should do, we should have a bit of fun with this. We should get one of these jigs. Oh dear. And I'm going to write on the back of one of these jigs, call me, and basically, if you get this jig, you call me, I will definitely send you something really cool. It might be a power tool. It might be, I don't know, I'll have to have a little think about that. And obviously, that'd be interesting. So, right, I'm going to say, call me if you have this jig. And then I'll write Rob in there, and then I'll put my number there. But you have to prove it by actually showing the jig and the writing on the back. It's no good just saying, I've got that jig. I say, I want to see it, okay? So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We'll stick that back in the line now. And that'll be a bit of fun, won't it? See who ends up with that. Yeah? Send them a goodie bag. That'll be a bit of fun.
basically that's it. We've produced the next batch of hinges. And it used to be, that used to be what everything I was about, making stuff, practical stuff. But then obviously this has such a big part of it now from here. They wouldn't go anywhere if it wasn't for technology.
No.
In the time we've been here making, of course, the sales are carrying on, thankfully. So someone's actually been recently and bought a jig and a cutter. So that orders come into the email.
So we log on to the Royal Mail account. It shows the orders in there. Then we can set them in batches, apply the postage, print off the labels, go to the other side of the workshop, put them in the boxes. Postman comes and collects them at 2:30.
Yeah, and then the magic with regards to, the software, the Xero software, it's all integrated at that point. And the accounting's being done, the information's going off, the bank's information's going off. So it is phenomenal. Anyway, this was a slightly different video. It was about Adrian, introducing Adrian. I'd like to do more here with Adrian because some of the things that Adrian produces outside of what I do with him is phenomenal. And I just think it's really another nice story to share as well, because instead of what you see me doing on site with hand power tools, what Adrian does with technology, CNC, laser, 3D print is brilliant, mate. So if you're up for it.
Absolutely, go on then. I mean, it's not my favourite place being in front of the camera, I must admit, I was told once I have a face for radio, but...
Well, funny enough, I do radio, and there you go, maybe I've got a face for radio
But
too.
I mean, there's some more things to come, there's a few more tools we've got in the pipeline and bits and pieces, and some development, there's some stuff going to appear on the website soon as well, so... we've got some nice things coming, so watch this space, I suppose.
Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. I'll catch you all again soon.
Cheers. Take care.